this is the actual invoice from when I bought my trumpet, which I got from Windblowers Music Shop in Nottingham on the 12th of December 2009. Man alive, it was a good purchase. There's trumpets and there's trumpets, and this is most definitely the latter. Let me introduce you to my baby. Back in 2009, at the time I was training to be a full-time music teacher, professional musician, session musician, learning all sorts of different techniques and styles, and this was the purchase to give me something which was close to being the right standard for what I needed. And I did some looking around, and at the time, I think not long before then, Wynton Marsalis had got his first raw brass trumpet. Or that was at least the first time I'd seen a raw brass trumpet. And I liked the look of it. And I wanted something which was different. I wanted something which nobody else had. I wanted something which sounded different, which sounded dirty and raw and just, filth. I didn't want some really shiny, brassy, classical orchestral trumpet. That wasn't the direction I was going in. So I did my research in the price range that I had, and I kept coming back with this Cannonball. And I hadn't heard of Cannonball. I'd heard of Yamaha and Bach and tons of other Schilker, Besson, tons of other brass instruments, but Cannonball wasn't something that I'd heard of. Cannonball was usually for saxophones and stuff like that. Anyway, so I found out that there's one retailer. There was one retailer in the UK that was a dealer for Cannonball, shop in Nottingham, Windblowers. So I got in touch with them, and I knew the trumpet I wanted. I knew I wanted the 789 RL. I knew I wanted the oversized bell with the unfinished lacquer, unpolished lacquer, and all the bells and whistles that it came with. So I got in touch with the shop, and I said, look, have you got one of these in stock? You're supposed to be the only people in the UK that have got it. Anyway, they had one in stock, and at the time it was the only one in the UK. They had lots of different Cannonballs, but this was the only one with the spec that I was looking for. Anyway, we arranged to go and see it. So me and my dad drove over to Nottingham, and we went in this shop. So my dad was a massive jazz fan, huge jazz fan. Didn't play an instrument, been around me playing trumpet and cornet all my life. Knew what it sounded like, knew what sounded good and what didn't. And I took him along for an extra pair of ears to give me some advice and thought. And if I was going to shell out that sort of money on a trumpet, I wanted to know what I was doing, right? I wanted to know that it was not just my ears that were blind to it. So I'd arranged to have some space to play, to try it out before, and to try some others to compare it against. Anyway, I got to the shop, and you went in this shop, big music shop, and they've got loads of instruments on the walls, and they've got some glass cabinets in the middle that you can see through, and behind those is a room. So effectively a glass box in the middle of this store. Saturday afternoon, busy day, shop's full. Goes there, introduces myself, and the guy takes me into this room, and on the table was the top of the range trumpet from every major trumpet manufacturer at the time. There must have been 15 grams worth of trumpets on this table. Like the best Bach, the best Schilke, the best Yamaha, this one, 2 or 3 others that I can't remember. Anyway, I played them all, and at the time I was in decent practice, my lip was good, and I'm stood in this glass box in the middle of this shop, and it's not soundproof, so everybody's hearing me. But I'm like, just block everybody out. And then, so I picked up the Bach and I played it. Nice, decent, 3.5 grand on, really nice. Played the Yamaha, similar price, slightly more. Sounded slightly better than Bach. Played the Schilke, still good, not as nice as the other two, but still good. Still upwards of 3 grand, really, really expensive, at the time. Well, expensive now, but for what I wanted, it was expensive. And I played the other two, and I can't remember what they were, as I say, but they were all in the mix. And then I left the Cannonball till last. And I remember I picked up the trumpet, and I'm stood in this thing, and I put it to my lips, and I played one note, and it was the biggest, dirtiest sound I'd ever heard come out of a trumpet. I played one note, and I remember stopping it and looking at my dad. I was like, wow, this it blew all of the others out of the water. It was leagues ahead of all of the other ones that I tried. And all the other ones that I tried, they were like serious machines, serious orchestral, session musician, relevant trumpets, really, really, really good instruments. So I played this one, and it just blew me away from the very first note. And as soon as I played that first note, I was like, I just fell in love with it. I thought, this is mine. This is my trumpet. I'm going home with this one today. And proceeded to play for about 20 minutes, just jamming, just improvising. People in the shop stopping what they were doing, looking through the glass cabinets at me. My dad just sat there, like, watching me playing all of this and sort of smiling and nodding in the background. And I kept looking over, and I was like, what do you think? He said, yeah, it's the best. Get it. So I did. So that was December 2009. And it's been my main trumpet ever since. And one of the things that I like about it is the fact that it sounds so different. You're not going to see this in an orchestra. You'll see jazz musicians playing this. But you wouldn't see principal trumpet in the London Philharmonic playing this. I very much doubt, unless it was a specialist piece. The oversized bell means it's got a bigger sound. The finish on it means that it's more dry, more raw. The big valve ends make it a bit more dry even still. A few other bits and bobs in the way it's made also. The net result of all of that is just a big, raw, dirty, dry sounding trumpet, which was exactly what I was looking for. It's still what I'm looking for. I'm on the search for the perfect tune to do it justice, and it's just so versatile. It's impossible to get perfection on a trumpet like this. Would I, if I had the money, buy a 15 grand handmade Monet? Yes, of course I would. Would I swap it for this? No chance. So that's my trumpet. I can't expect many people to appreciate this as much as I do. Very much doubt you'll love this anywhere close to what I do. You probably look at it and think it just looks like some filthy battered old thing. And you will be right. I don't polish it. It doesn't need polishing. In fact, I intentionally don't want it to be polished because that would just make it bright, and I don't want a bright sounding trumpet. So when you hear me playing trumpet on stuff and it maybe sounds a little bit bigger and a little bit more dry and a little bit more raw and dirty than maybe other trumpets that you've heard, then this would be why, and this is what I'm playing. So yes, I have fun playing on the P trumpet from time to time, but anything that I'm doing, any serious recording, any music I put out, the trumpet samples pack that I've got coming out, anything that I've done, professionally, it's always on this. It just is. There you go. Let's have a play, see what it sounds like.